Welcome in, everybody. Before we get into this late night update, we need to talk about a few things first. We're going to talk about what caused XRP to drop under 36 cents. How did we end up having this flash drop, which was not unseen? We talked about this 2 days ago, yesterday, and today about the potential for a flash drop that was building up. There was no ways to not see it if you were watching my updates. We need to talk about Silvergate and how that was a key player in this drop just now. As Bitcoin, since the flip of the clock, is down over 1,000 points currently still. XRP is still sitting down about at the 365 level roughly. And we need to talk about the further fallout of this as, once again, crypto decides to reverse back down. And for everybody who thinks we've hit a bottom, or anybody who hasn't started buying exactly where we're at right now and is going to buy to the bottom, there's going to be a lot of hard lessons learned if we just think we're at the bottom, or if we think we can just buy it all at the one time when we hit the exact bottom, because something tells me that there's going to be a lot of capitulation that happens, and who knows with the broader manipulation if they're going to actually let us buy when we get down to the true bottom. What I will say is I believe XRP is going to go sub 20 cents at some point, but I'm also not foolish enough to say don't buy when it's sub 40 cents. Anything under sub 40 cents is an unbelievable buy. We got an even better buy if you're going to make your first purchase. All I've been asking my audience to do is buy 2%. And the reason why I say 2% is so you have a stake in the game, you get used to what it's like holding XRP again, and then you can formulate a plan. When you have stake in the game, when you have money in the game and there's a stake for you, when you have a stake because your own money's in it, you tend to look at things a little bit differently. I'm telling everybody again, this is going to be the most influential time in history, and this is going to be a time where you can change and transform your wealth, not just for you, but for generations to come. Like I said in my very first update, XRP has the technology, and it's had the technology, and it has the capabilities, along with the Ripple and what we do with RippleNet and the XRP ledger. We have the ability to take over for Swift now. There's no Swift has all of its own problems. So when you understand what you're buying, and if you do, you can't just buy XRP. It's a three-part deal, ladies and gentlemen. Even if you don't want to buy all the other ISO coins, something we need to understand from each other, me to you, is you've got to buy XRP, XLM, XDC. There's no excuses. If you've only got $3,500, you buy even amount of shares. So if you can only buy 5,000 shares of XRP and then you can fit in 5,000 of XLM and XDC, I think that's better than just holding all weight in XRP. The goal should be to have 10,000 shares of each. That should be your main goal. If you can't afford that, the next target is 7,500, and then 5,000, and then 2,500. Nobody says you have to have 10. That's just a goal that I think is a good goal to have, because to me that just seems like the proper number. If XRP ever gets to $10, then you got $1 million on 10,000 shares, yada yada yada. That's the way I look at it. So then if you have XLM and XDC, even if they don't get to the exact same levels, you have the same kind of percentage of gain. And I believe having all three is the key. They're the three X's for a reason. So I believe that that's a key factor. So in this update, what I want you to get is not only the technical analysis we're going to go into, but understand the chance at history you have right now. Understand what's happening right now. Look at Bitcoin behind us, down 1,067 points, down 4.62% on a gigantic bear flag, which we could double this. We could double this drop. We could absolutely double this drop, ladies and gentlemen. So we need to pay very close attention to what's happening, and we need to understand that a lot of the people that are telling us that the bottom is in and that we have to buy it all now and we have to waste all of our money when it's not truly the time, most of these people are paid influencers. I call them controlled opposition. Their job is to get you to put in exit liquidity. They want you to put in your hard-earned money, and basically they're trying to bankrupt retail investors. I've been talking about this for a very long time. Sometimes we have to get real, ladies and gentlemen, and because of the way this started, what I'm going to show you about Silvergate and how the charts look, this is probably one of the most important updates that we've ever put out. The stuff that's happening with Silvergate and the people that in crypto that are distancing themselves from it, including Coinbase, which is another sham in itself. Something very scary is going on in the world of crypto, and I don't even think we felt half of it yet. I said we were going to have a historical liquidation like crypto's never seen before, and it was going to wipe out retail. I said that at $1.66. Now we're sitting at 36 cents, 36 and a half cents. This next drop down, if and when it happens, is going to bankrupt 95% of the people that watch me right now. Not because you can't sell it, because you've already bought in at $1, $1.50, even 70 cents or 50 cents. And when it goes sub 20 cents, you're going to say, fuck this. I'm not putting another dollar into crypto, and I'm done. Once everybody gets to that collective mindset, then, and only then, after we've had our capitulation style event, are we going to go back up. There is no way that in this bear market, we're going to come down here and not grab all the liquidity farther down before we go on the next bull run. I can almost guarantee you it. I can't say for 100% because I'm not a financial advisor. But I will tell you, a lot of the stuff you hear perpetrated on social media is 100% horseshit. Make sure to hit that like button as we play this intro, and we'll get into some technical analysis and what's going on with Silvergate after this. Good evening, 11:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, March 2nd, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So this is not this is more of a business update. This is like a business venture. I have a more serious tone. There's nothing to kid around this update. As we can see, once again, XRP reversed down 3.13% down to 3656. We briefly stood a pretty substantial amount under 35 cents or 36 cents as we put in a major bear flag here. And what we could say is, did we actually pull up and we reverse back out of this? This is always the key here. As you can see, we came all the way down to 3526, which on the downtrending resistance side or support, we tried to say we could come down to about 347 on the X marks the spot in that area. And it goes across here at about 347. We came down to 352, but we pulled all the way back up, and we could say the 362 support held because it was nothing more than a wick. And now we have to say to ourselves, did we actually come back up and put up some weird kind of bull flag here? As we do have this, and let me bring out the drawing tool because there's going to be a lot of traps set here now. So yes, we came down and we're doing something like this. But coming up like this, if we were to hold here, couldn't we say it's going to pop up here and at least retest since it had such a violent drop? Maybe not the 377, but at least test the 369 as the 20-day should meet it right around here. It's a possibility. We will know more if we break down or if we hold that 362, which we already have once here. But as long as that 362 support holds, then we can bounce around in here for a minute. But even with that said, that's still a bear flag that's forming here. And if we want to see where it goes next, the key here is that a lot of faith has been lost in crypto, and I'm going to show you what's going on with Silvergate in just a second, because a lot of you, if you haven't heard of that, that's really going to startle you a little bit here, as it's just another nail in the side of crypto, at least at this current time. So we talked about already how we were in this falling channel style pattern, and we weren't comfortable calling it a broadening wedge, because in a broadening wedge, you're kind of dictating that you're going to have a breakout attempt at some point, and you're going to break out of this area. I feel like it's more of a falling channel, as I've stated a lot of times, this support down here and the resistance up at the top. So let me get the arrow out just so it's easier. We've got way up here resistance, support, support, resistance, support, support, resistance. And then the next likelihood was it was going to come down here to the next side in the falling channel, since we got rejected up here. So I thought it was more than likely, and yes, you can break out and break up in a falling channel, but I thought it was more than likely that we're going to continue down this channel instead of being in a broadening wedge, which it could very well play out to be a broadening wedge, but I didn't want to give hopes up so people would be like, oh, broadening wedge, that typically could end bullish. You know, I still feel like a falling channel is more indicative of what's going on here. We have this falling resistance, falling support. We have lower lows and lower highs. So it fits. You know, it fits. So we'll continue to watch this, but we need to watch here now, because if we lose the 362 now, 362 becomes very, very important support. You lose 362, you got a very fast track back down to the 352 level. There's not much more holding us up here. And if we look at Bitcoin real quick before we take a look at Silvergate and then I release this update, Bitcoin, we had targets here with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is starting to lose itself here just a tiny bit, and it's starting to present itself with this topping reversal. We talked about a topping reversal pattern here before, and we also talked about how Bitcoin was coming down to 21,965 after we lost this uptrend. And what happened? We might have missed it by like $10. We came down to 22,000, about 22,000, but 21,965 was the area we talked about. And as long as we held that, we were still on the top side. But now, performing some serious shit here, ladies and gentlemen. We really need to hold this area if you want Bitcoin to maintain bullish. And ultimately, we need to hold like this uptrend. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You need to hold that right there. Just in my opinion, that's what's formed. And if you lose that, it's going to be a long road. If you lose 21,965, then you come down another 1,000 to 20,965 approximately. Like I said, when 22,600 and all that bullshit in between, it wasn't necessary. Just like here, if you lose this, it's not necessary. 21,000 or 20,965, then 20,430 or 413, and then you start to come down here. Then you start coming down here about 19K. Would we be able to hold 19K? So we're getting into some dire situations here, because if you lose that uptrending support that I drew out there just now, it's a very quick slope here. And since that looks like a gigantic bear flag, unless something miraculous happens here in crypto, XRP and Bitcoin and all of crypto is in a lot of trouble right now. A lot of trouble. And then with Silvergate, just if we look at all of the news right now. So if we go into the news, Silvergate bank stock plummets as Coinbase cuts ties. Crypto industry distanced itself from Silvergate as a bank. So news of Silvergate's bank's insolvency crashes the crypto market. And this was from 36 minutes ago. So we'll just get a quick look at Silvergate. Fallout triggers over 5% correction in the Bitcoin price and crypto. So crypto-focused bank Silvergate Capital, I believe they're in California, has sent shockwaves all across the cryptocurrency markets. The bank has delayed its filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, as it faces a crisis of confidence. The development has triggered major selling pressure on the crypto market. In the last few hours, Bitcoin and the broader crypto market have tanked over 5%, eroding more than $50 billion of investors' wealth. As of press time, the Bitcoin price is down by 4.9%, blah, 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 blah. All coins are facing even sharper correction. With the recent move, Bitcoin and the broader crypto market have shown a kind of decoupling from the U.S. equity market. On Thursday, March 2nd, the NASDAQ ended 0.73% in the green. Many of the cryptos fear the ability of Silvergate Bank to survive going ahead. Some have been speculating whether Silvergate will take the route of crypto exchange FTX. So the developers of Silvergate Capital have triggered a quick reaction from its partners in the crypto space. On Thursday, crypto exchange Coinbase dropped Silvergate as its USD banking partner while choosing its rival Signature Bank. One of the larger corporate Bitcoin holders, MicroStrategy, announced that it has no deposits with Silvergate Bank. In a message with MicroStrategy on Twitter, MicroStrategy released. So it says, we have a loan from Silvergate not due until Q1 25. There are market concerns, RESI, thin condition. For anyone wondering, the loan wouldn't accelerate because of SI insolvency or bankruptcy. Our Bitcoin collateral isn't custodied with SI, and we have no other financial relationships with Silvergate, I'm assuming it. So on Thursday, March 2nd, the stock of Silvergate Capital tanked by a staggering 57% in one day. In a single day, the bank stock is now down by more than 95% on the yearly chart. Amid the delayed SEC filing and doubts of insolvency, banking giant JP Morgan has downgraded the Silvergate stock to underweight from neutral. So this is a major story, as a lot of deposits through crypto was actually having through Silvergate or happening, and they were using Silvergate to make this happen. And this is going to become a big mess. This is a big, big story. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. So do a little bit of research on Silvergate. They're under investigation by the Department of Justice, and that came out a few weeks ago. So like this is all starting to This is all starting to unfold here. This is all breaking down. And like I put insolvency just because I think it's actually going to go the insolvency route. But these are the top stories right now. Silvergate stock drops over 50%. Bitcoin slides with wilder crypto markets amid Silvergate fallout. And you can see all this Bitcoin price in trouble is stable, but then it broke down. So things just aren't adding up. And I think we're in for a bigger fallout with crypto. Who knows if it's going to happen today, next week, next month. But right now, things are very, very volatile. Make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to join Tom's Army, you want to use the exchanges I use to buy XRP in the USA, or when the time is right so you have it on file. It's in the video description below and or the pinned message below. There's the message or the link to Tom's Army. But there's also the link to BitGet and MEXC where you can buy and sell XRP. No spot fees on the buy or sell. So make sure you look there. Hashtag be better, do better. Hashtag FUD assassins. And remember, help one person each and every day. Because if I don't do my part and you don't do your part, what the hell is the point?